Here's a short guide on how to go about mirroring a structure. So here I've done the initial work, but what the basic idea is that you have a central point here, and you basically want to mirror this structure into this. So you see these are mirrored. You basically prefab the first structure such as this. This is a extract of this structure that I want to mirror to this side. And you basically have a central point, put that as the parent of the prefab, and then rotate it 180 degrees. This is the trick. So you rotate it 180 degrees, and now it's basically like at the exact position. So you see I've done this with the entire blue base, and I've just recolored a couple parts so it's the red base. So this is like an extract from this spot, for example. Now, how you go about actually putting them in place is, first of all, unprefab this, but you basically need to rotate them back 180. And this works with items that are, or that have at least one side that is a mirror symmetrical side. So for example, this object, it has one axis that is mirrored, which is this axis here. So if I do basically this, then it is the same. It's just like flipped upside down. So the goal here is to match this object's position just in the spot of this box here. So how we will go about that is, first we need to set the center rotation pivot for the object. For some objects like this doorway here, oops, that's not the doorway, but this, it works as well. So some objects, they have a corner pivot like this one. You can select the center pivot if you take the rotation axis, and then on keyboard you press 6. It is the change pivot button on the right there. Yes, the number 6 right there. On controller it's something else, but you change it to the center pivot, and then you're ready to go. So you basically rotate it like this. Boom, rotate, move it out of the way so you know that's the object you're working on. Then you find the counterpart object on the original building. Take a look at the name of the object to ensure it's the right one. Okay, then you do another trick here. So you select the first object from the original building, then you select the second object. So now you're holding 2, but the first object selected is this one. Then you open the properties and open the vertical height and just press confirm. It'll give the same vertical height to both of these objects. And now it's at the correct position. Basically do this for all the objects. Like this. Walltech extra large, be careful here, that is not the right object, it is the doorway. Boom. There we go. This object is not perfectly symmetrical. You can see there's a bit of asymmetry here, but for objects like this, it's still fine. So selecting that, put it in place. Barrel. That guy right there. And then this sphere, even though it has multiple symmetrical sides, rotate it anyways, because that is the process. And down there. And now we get to a fully asymmetrical object here. So this object has no symmetrical sides. But even this one, it is like quite symmetrical. It's just a small change here. But in case like this, you still want to rotate it 180. And then like match it at the position, and then see if there's any like artistic freedom required to make it look a bit nicer, since it didn't perfectly match the symmetry. So if I turn off the block out here, you'll see it is not like mirrored, but it still fits the theme. And that's what we're aiming for with this method still. So you can see quickly I was able to mirror this one structure piece with not much effort. And when it comes to this existing piece here, you would just like take an object from it, rotate 180, find the corresponding object here. You want to see barrel that is not correct. It's the water barrel. Like that. Set the height. And there, now it's correct. Quick important note about the rotation scope is that you must be on the object scoped rotation type. And you can change that by first selecting the rotation axis. Then using this button here, change rotation type. On keyboard it's 5. You can scroll through the different types. You don't want to be on world. You want to be on object. So in cases like this where this object is on a 45-degree angle, we can find it here and we rotate it by the object's scope. So even though it's at an angle, it rotates by the object. If we would rotate it by the world, it would not be correct. So we want to rotate it by the object scope. And then we do this. There we go. Now it's mirrored correctly. A good workflow here is to also keep hiding the objects you have already mirrored. So if we continue here, this roof piece, for example, I'll rotate that, move it down, so I'm working on that, and then I find the piece there, move it down, okay, and now I come to this original piece and I open the folder structure, do a reset of the folder structure, so collapse all folders, open all folders, close the menu and open the menu. So that's a reset, and it gets you to the point where the object is in the folder structure, and then you can press hide. And just like that, now both of these structures are in the same state, so I can easily see which ones I'm missing. So let's continue with this one. Rotate, find it here. Move it down. Find only this one. Folder structure, collapse, expand, close, reopen. Now I'm at the object, and now you can hide. One last time. Rotate this piece. Find it here. Go down. Deselect. Select this one. Folder structure, collapse, open, and it is with this button here. Then close, open, and hide.